That's how it felt when I stopped at that roadside diner last night. Just me, a couple of truckers at the counter, and a man sitting alone in the corner booth. He wasn't eating, just stirring a cup of black coffee that looked cold. His coat was soaked from the rain and his hat sat low enough to hide his face. But there was this strange feeling, like I knew him from somewhere. The waitress came over to take my order, but I couldn't stop glancing back at the guy. Something about the way he sat, so still, like he was waiting for something, or someone. Then, just as I was about to ask the waitress who he was, she leaned down and whispered, "Careful with that one. Says he's waiting for the past to catch up to him." I laughed it off, thought it was some weird joke. But then, halfway through my burger, the man in the booth stood up. No one else seemed to notice except me. He left a wad of cash on the table, walked to the door, and, get this, looked straight at me before he left. His eyes were strange. Not angry, not friendly, just tired, like someone who's seen too much and finally gave up running. And here's where it gets weird. When I finished my meal and went to pay, I glanced at the clock above the register. It was stuck at 11:57. The waitress noticed me staring and said, "That thing's been broken for years. Stopped the day he first walked in." First, I asked her what she meant. She just shook her head and said, "He's been coming here every few months. Always on a rainy night. Always at the same time. 11:57 on the dot. Like clockwork." She laughed, but it didn't feel like a joke. Some folks say he's been doing it for years. Others say longer. But I've only been here 10, so what do I know? And now, I can't stop wondering, how do you wait for the past to catch up to you? And more importantly, what happens when it finally does? You think that's the end? No. That man? I saw him again tonight. Different diner, same booth, same look in his eyes. Only this time, he smiled at me. I don't know what's going on, but if I see him again, I might just follow him. If you were me, would you? Because here's the thing. Some people run from the past. Others wait for it to catch up. And the really unlucky ones? Well, they meet it halfway. If you want to know what I find out, stick around, because something tells me this isn't the end. It's just the beginning. You ever walk into a place and feel like something's off?